The vast emptiness of space stretched out before the U.S. horizon, Earth's most advanced deep space exploration vessel. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the main view screen. The ship had been on its mission for 3 years now, pushing further into the unknown than any human had ever gone before. "Status report, Lieutenant Rogers," Sarah called out, her voice steady despite the excitement bubbling in her chest. Lieutenant John Rogers, a young officer with a mop of red hair, looked up from his console. "All systems normal, Captain. We're approaching the edge of the Kuiper Belt. It's incredible." His voice held a note of awe that Sarah understood all too well. The crew of the Horizon had been handpicked for this mission. They were the best and brightest Earth had to offer, a mix of seasoned space veterans and brilliant young minds. Their mission was simple yet monumental, to push the boundaries of human exploration and search for signs of extraterrestrial life. As the ship glided silently through space, the tension on the bridge was palpable. They were venturing into uncharted territory, farther from Earth than any human had ever been. The possibilities were endless, and so were the potential dangers. Suddenly, a sharp beep cut through the quiet hum of the ship's systems. Everyone on the bridge froze. "Captain." Lieutenant Emma Patel, the communications officer, called out. Her normally calm voice trembled with excitement. "I'm picking up a signal. It's not one of ours." Sarah's heart raced. Could this be it? The moment they had all been waiting for? "Put it on speakers, Lieutenant," she ordered, trying to keep her voice steady. A strange, rhythmic series of beeps and whistles filled the bridge. It was unlike anything they had ever heard before. It was alien. "It appears to be some kind of distress signal, Captain," Emma said, her fingers flying over her console as she analyzed the incoming data. "The pattern is too regular to be natural." Sarah took a deep breath. This was the moment that would change everything. "Can you locate the source?" John spoke up from his station. "Yes, Captain. It's coming from a small planetoid about 2 light hours from our current position." "Plot a course, Mr. Rogers." "Maximum safe speed," Sarah ordered. She turned to address the entire bridge crew. "Ladies and gentlemen, this could be first contact. Let's make humanity proud." As the Horizon changed course, Sarah couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. They had trained for this, but nothing could truly prepare them for the reality of meeting an alien civilization. The journey to the source of the signal felt both incredibly long and impossibly short. Every member of the crew was on high alert, checking and double-checking their systems, preparing for every possible scenario. As they approached the planetoid, Sarah ordered the ship to slow down. "Full sensor sweep, Mr. Rogers. Let's see what we're dealing with." The results of the scan appeared on the main view screen, causing gasps of amazement from the crew. There, on the surface of the tiny, icy world, was an unmistakable artificial structure. It was a sleek, silver building, its architecture unlike anything seen on Earth. "Life signs?" Sarah asked, her voice barely above a whisper. John shook his head. "None detected, Captain. But there's a significant power source inside the structure. It seems to be the origin of the distress signal." Sarah nodded, her mind racing with possibilities. "Prepare a landing party. Full containment protocols. We don't know what we're walking into." Within the hour, Sarah found herself leading a small team towards the alien structure. Their environmental suits were state-of-the-art, designed to protect against any known threat, and quite a few unknown ones. As they approached the building, its surface seemed to shimmer, almost as if it was alive. "Amazing," Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the ship's xenobiologist, breathed. "The material. I've never seen anything like it." As they neared what appeared to be an entrance, the door slid open silently. Sarah hesitated for a moment, then stepped inside. The interior was bathed in a soft, blue light. Strange symbols covered the walls, pulsing gently. "It's beautiful," Emma whispered, her eyes wide behind her helmet visor. They made their way deeper into the structure, following the strengthening signal. Finally, they entered a large, circular room. In the center stood a pedestal, and on it, a small, cube-shaped device that pulsed with energy. Sarah approached it cautiously. As she did, the cube suddenly projected a hologram. The image flickered, then stabilized into a form that, while alien, was unmistakably sentient. It had a vaguely humanoid shape, with large, almond-shaped eyes and silvery skin. The alien figure began to speak. To everyone's shock, after a moment of unintelligible sounds, their suit's translators kicked in. "Greetings, explorers," the hologram said. "If you are seeing this message, then our worst fears have come to pass. Our civilization, once spanning galaxies, has fallen, but hope remains. You, who have found this outpost, are now our legacy." The crew listened in stunned silence as the hologram explained about a vast galactic council of wars and politics on a scale they could barely comprehend. The alien race, calling themselves the Luminary, had been defeated in a great conflict, their civilization reduced to hidden outposts like this one. "We offer you our knowledge, our technology," the hologram continued. "Use it wisely. And beware the council. They fear the unknown, the different. Show them that diversity is strength. The fate of the galaxy now rests with you." As the hologram faded, Sarah looked at her crew. Their faces showed a mix of awe, fear, and determination. In that moment, she knew that everything had changed. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe, and their real journey was just beginning. "Contact the horizon," Sarah ordered, her voice firm. Tell them we've made first contact, and that we're bringing home a message for all of humanity." As they prepared to return to their ship, each member of the crew knew they were part of something monumental. They had discovered not just alien life, but a legacy, a responsibility, and a warning. The stars, once so distant and mysterious, now held new promise and new dangers. Humanity's next great adventure was about to begin. First contact. The return journey to Earth felt both exhilarating and tense for the crew of the U.S. Horizon. Captain Sarah Chen spent most of her time in her quarters, poring over the data they had retrieved from the Luminary outpost. The cube-shaped device they had brought back contained vast amounts of information about the galaxy and its inhabitants. As Earth came into view, a mix of emotions swept through the ship. They were bringing home news that would change everything. "Captain to the bridge." Lieutenant John Rogers' voice came over the intercom. Sarah hurried to her post, knowing what was coming. As she entered the bridge, she saw the familiar blue and green orb of Earth on the main view screen. But it wasn't alone. A massive, silver ship hung in orbit, easily dwarfing the horizon. "It's the Galactic Council," Sarah said, her voice barely above a whisper. "They beat us here." The communications console beeped urgently. Emma Patel, her hands slightly shaking, answered the call. A holographic image appeared on the bridge, showing a being unlike anything they had ever seen. It had 4 arms, iridescent skin, and eyes that seemed to change color as it spoke. "Greetings, humans of Earth," the alien said, its voice translated through their systems. "I am Ambassador Zaxlith of the Galactic Council. We have come to welcome you to the greater galactic community." Sarah stepped forward, her posture straight and confident despite her racing heart. "I am Captain Sarah Chen of the U.S. Horizon. On behalf of Earth, we welcome you." The next few hours were a whirlwind of activity. The Horizon docked with the Council ship, and a delegation from Earth was quickly assembled. World leaders, top scientists, and military officials were brought on board for the first official meeting with the Galactic Council representatives. Sarah and her crew found themselves in a vast, circular room aboard the Council ship. The walls shimmered with holographic displays showing star systems and alien worlds. Around a large table sat beings of all shapes and sizes, each representing a different alien race. Ambassador Zaxlith stood at the head of the table. "We have been observing your species for some time," he began. "Your recent discovery of the Luminary outpost has accelerated our plans for contact." A murmur ran through the Earth delegation. Sarah stepped forward. "You knew about the luminary?" she asked. Zaxlith's eyes flickered to a deep blue. The luminary were troublemakers. They refused to abide by council laws. Their fate was unfortunate, but necessary for galactic stability. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine, remembering the luminary's warning about the council. The meeting continued, with the council explaining the structure of galactic politics and the rules that governed interstellar civilizations. It quickly became clear that they viewed humanity as a primitive species, barely worth notice. "Earth will, of course, be placed under quarantine," a tall, spindly alien announced. "For your own protection, you understand. You're not ready for the dangers of the wider galaxy." The Earth representatives bristled at this. The President of the United States, a stern-faced woman named Eleanor Hayes, spoke up. "With all due respect, we've managed to survive and thrive on our own for thousands of years. We're not children to be coddled." Zaxlith's eyes turned a deep red. "You don't understand the threats that exist out there. Your technology is centuries behind most council races. You would be easy prey for slave traders or resource pirates." As the debate heated up, Sarah noticed something odd. A few of the alien representatives seemed to be watching the humans with interest rather than dismissal. One, a being that looked like a cross between a cat and a tree, caught her eye and gave what she thought might be a wink. The arguments continued for hours. The council insisted on strict control over Earth's development and access to space. The Earth delegation pushed back, demanding recognition as equals and the right to explore the stars freely. As tensions rose, Sarah decided to take a risk. She stepped forward and activated the luminary cube. The hologram of the ancient alien appeared, causing gasps from both humans and council members. "The luminary trusted us with their legacy," Sarah said firmly. "They believed in our potential. We may be young, but we're not helpless. We've overcome countless challenges on our world. We've united our planet in ways you might not understand. Our strength lies in our diversity, our adaptability, and our determination." The room fell silent as Sarah's words sank in. Some council members looked thoughtful, others angry. Zaxlith's eyes had turned a stormy gray. "You dare to invoke the luminary," he hissed. "Their arrogance nearly tore the galaxy apart. We will not allow that to happen again." But Sarah could see she had made an impact. The cat tree alien stood up. "Perhaps we have been hasty in our judgment," it said in a melodious voice. "The humans show a spirit we have not seen in millennia. Maybe it's time for fresh perspectives in the council." Others began to nod in agreement. The tide was turning. In the end, a compromise was reached. Earth would not be quarantined, but would instead enter a probationary period. They would be allowed limited access to council technology and knowledge, with the opportunity to prove themselves worthy of full membership. As the Earth delegation prepared to return home, the cat tree alien approached Sarah. "I am Nyla of the arboreal felinoids," it said. "Your words were brave, Captain Chen. Not many would stand up to the council like that. You have made some powerful friends today, and some dangerous enemies. Be cautious, but know that not all of us fear change." Sarah nodded, understanding the weight of Nyla's words. As she boarded the shuttle back to Earth, she knew that this was just the beginning. Humanity had taken its first steps onto a much larger stage, and the real challenges were yet to come. The stars no longer seemed distant and unreachable. They were full of wonders, dangers, and possibilities, and humanity was ready to face them all. The ultimatum. 6 months had passed since humanity's first contact with the Galactic Council. Earth was buzzing with excitement and anxiety. The probationary period had brought both wonders and frustrations. While humans gained access to some alien technology, they found themselves constantly monitored and restricted by Council observers. Captain Sarah Chen, now a key figure in Earth's new space diplomacy corps, sat in a high-level meeting at the United Nations headquarters in New York. Representatives from every nation on Earth were present, along with the Council's primary liaison, Ambassador Zaxlith. Your progress has been noteworthy, Zaxlith said, his skin shimmering with hints of blue and green. However, the Council has concerns about the rate at which you are advancing. It's unprecedented. President Eleanor Hayes leaned forward, her eyes narrowing. We're simply applying the knowledge you've shared with us. Isn't that the point of this probationary period? Zaxlith's eyes flashed a deep red. The point was to gradually introduce you to galactic society, not to have you leap forward centuries in mere months. Your weapons development is particularly troubling. A murmur ran through the human delegates. They had indeed been focusing heavily on defense technology, wary of the threats the galaxy might hold. We have the right to protect ourselves, the Chinese president stated firmly. Zaxlith stood, his forearms spread wide. The Council has reached a decision. We are here to deliver an ultimatum. The room fell silent. Sarah felt her heart racing, remembering the warning from the luminary. Earth has two choices, Zaxlith continued. First, you can accept full membership in the Galactic Council, but under strict conditions. All of your advanced technology will be placed under Council control. Your space exploration will be limited to your own solar system. In return, you'll receive our full protection and limited access to galactic trade networks. He paused, letting the words sink in. Sarah could see the shock and anger on the faces of the Earth delegates. And the second choice? President Hayes asked, her voice tight with controlled anger. You reject our offer and face complete isolation. We will erect a quarantine field around your entire solar system. No ships in, no ships out. You'll be cut off from the galactic community entirely. The room erupted in outrage. Delegates shouted protests and demands for explanation. Sarah stood up, raising her voice above the chaos. Ambassador, with all due respect, this isn't an ultimatum. It's a threat. You're asking us to choose between being prisoners in our own solar system or prisoners on our own planet. Zaxlith turned to her, his eyes now a swirling mix of red and black. You don't understand the dangers, Captain Chen. Your species is too aggressive, too unpredictable. The technology you now possess could destabilize the entire sector if not properly controlled. As the arguments escalated, Sarah's communicator buzzed. It was a message from Nyella, her arboreal felinoid ally on the Council. Not all agree with this decision. Stall for time. Help is coming. Sarah cleared her throat loudly. I propose we take some time to discuss this among ourselves. Surely the Council can grant us that courtesy. Zaxlith seemed ready to object, but another Council member, a being that looked like a sentient crystal, spoke up. That is a reasonable request. We will reconvene in 24 Earth hours. As the meeting adjourned, the Earth delegates gathered in a secure room. The atmosphere was tense, filled with anger and fear. We can't accept either of these options, the Russian president said, slamming his fist on the table. It would mean the end of human independence. But can we risk isolation? Another delegate asked. We've seen what's out there. There are threats we can't face alone. Sarah stood up. I have reason to believe we're not alone in this. There are members of the Council who don't agree with this ultimatum. If we can buy some time, we might find a way out of this. President Hayes nodded. Captain Chen, your experience with both the luminary technology and the Council makes you our best asset right now. What do you suggest? Sarah took a deep breath. We need to show the Council that we're not the threat they think we are. But we also can't back down. I propose we use the Luminary Cube to broadcast a message to the entire galactic community. The room buzzed with whispered conversations. It was a bold move, potentially antagonizing the Council further. But it could also rally support from other races. As the Earth leaders debated, Sarah received another message from Nyella. Prepare for visitors. Friends are coming. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the building. Security personnel rushed in. Multiple ships have just appeared in Earth orbit, one officer reported. They're not Council vessels. On the main screen, they saw a fleet of sleek, organic-looking ships. They were unlike anything the Council used. A transmission came through. People of Earth, we are the Free Races Alliance. We've come to offer our support against the Council's unjust demands. Hope surged through the room. They weren't alone after all. As the 24-hour deadline approached, Earth prepared to give its answer. The United Nations chamber was packed, with both Council members and representatives of the newly arrived Free Races Alliance present. President Hayes stood to address the assembly. We, the people of Earth, reject the Council's ultimatum. We will not be controlled, nor will we be isolated. We choose a third path, independence with cooperation. She gestured to the Free Races representatives. We have found allies who share our vision of a galaxy where diversity is celebrated, not feared, where progress is encouraged, not stifled. Zaxlith's skin turned a deep, angry red. You risk war with this decision. Sarah stepped forward. Activating the luminary cube, the hologram appeared, its message of hope and warning playing for all to hear. The luminary trusted us to learn from their mistakes, Sarah said. We won't repeat the errors of the past, but we won't be bullied into submission either. Earth is ready to take its place in the galaxy, as equals, not subjects. The chamber erupted in a mix of cheers and protests. As the Council delegates argued among themselves, Sarah knew that a new chapter in human history had begun. The ultimatum had been rejected, but the real challenge was just beginning. Humanity would have to prove itself worthy of its newfound freedom, and the galaxy would never be the same again. Preparing for war. The days following Earth's rejection of the Galactic Council's ultimatum were filled with frantic activity. Humanity knew that they had taken a bold step, and now they had to prepare for the consequences. Captain Sarah Chen found herself at the heart of Earth's preparations. She stood in a vast underground facility, surrounded by a mix of human scientists and alien allies from the Free Races Alliance. We need to combine our technologies, Sarah said, pointing to a holographic display of Earth's defense systems. The Council's military capabilities far outmatch our own. Nyella, the arboreal felinoid, nodded in agreement. Her feline features were set in a determined expression. We've brought schematics for our shield technology. It should significantly boost your planetary defenses. As the scientists got to work, Sarah couldn't help but marvel at how quickly things had changed. Just a year ago, humanity had thought they were alone in the universe. Now, they were preparing for an interstellar war. In orbit, the scene was equally busy. Earth's fledgling space fleet, consisting of hastily retrofitted ships, was being enhanced with technology from the Free Races. Engineers in spacesuits floated alongside alien workers, attaching strange, organic-looking devices to the hulls of Earth's vessels. Admiral Helena Rodriguez, a veteran of Earth's navies, watched the proceedings from the bridge of the newly christened ESS Defiant. I never thought I'd see the day when we'd be working alongside beings from another world, she mused. Sarah, who had joined her for a briefing, nodded. It's incredible how adversity can bring unlikely allies together. Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent transmission. President Hayes appeared on the main screen, her face grave. We've just received intelligence from our allies. The Council is mobilizing a fleet. They're calling it a peacekeeping force, but we know better. We have maybe 2 weeks before they arrive. Sarah felt her heart race. 2 weeks wasn't much time to prepare for a potential invasion, but humans had always been good at rising to challenges. We'll be ready, Madam President, Admiral Rodriguez said firmly. As the news spread, a wave of determination swept across the planet. Factories worked around the clock, retooling to produce new weapons and defenses. Universities became centers for studying and adapting alien technology. Even children got involved, their natural creativity helping define new applications for the alien tech. In a secret facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the xenobiologist from the U.S. Horizon, made a breakthrough. She had been studying the luminary cube, trying to unlock more of its secrets. Captain Chen, she called excitedly as Sarah entered the lab. "I think I found something." The luminary left us more than just a warning. They left us a weapon. Sarah leaned in, her eyes wide as Yuki explained. The cube contained plans for a device that could disrupt the Council's advanced AI systems, potentially crippling their fleet. "This could turn the tide," Sarah breathed. "But can we build it in time?" Yuki nodded confidently. "With our new allies' help, yes. But we'll only have one shot at this. We need to make it count." As the days ticked by, Earth's transformation continued. The planet's cities now bristled with strange, alien defenses. In orbit, a mixed fleet of human and free races ships stood ready. But it wasn't just military preparations that occupied humanity. Cultural exchanges with their new allies flourished. Humans learned about galactic history, studied alien philosophies, and even began to pick up extraterrestrial languages. In return, Earth shared its art, music, and literature, fascinating their allies with human creativity and emotions. 1 week before the Council fleet was due to arrive, Sarah found herself in a global broadcast alongside President Hayes and representatives from the Free Races Alliance. "People of Earth," President Hayes began, her voice steady and strong. "We stand at a turning point in human history. The challenges ahead are great, but so is our resolve." Sarah stepped forward. "We've always wondered if we were alone in the universe. Now we know we're not, and we found friends among the stars. Together, we will show the Galactic Council that diversity and freedom are strengths, not weaknesses." Nyella spoke next, her feline eyes gleaming. "To our allies in the Council who secretly support Earth, now is the time to make your voices heard. Help us prevent this unnecessary conflict." As the broadcast ended, Sarah felt a mix of fear and hope. They had done all they could to prepare. Now, they had to wait. The final days before the Council fleet's arrival were tense. Earth's cities were eerily quiet, many people having been evacuated to underground shelters. Those who remained went about their duties with grim determination. In orbit, the combined Earth Alliance fleet ran constant drills. Ships practiced complex maneuvers, crews familiarized themselves with new weapons, and commanders fine-tuned their strategies. On the eve of the expected confrontation, Sarah stood in the control room of Earth's primary defense center. Holographic displays showed the positions of their fleet and the incoming Council armada. Admiral Rodriguez's voice came through the comm system. "All ships report ready, Captain. We're as prepared as we'll ever be." Sarah took a deep breath, looking around at the mix of human and alien faces, all united in purpose. "Then let's make history. For Earth, for freedom, and for a better galaxy." As the first Council ships appeared at the edge of the solar system, humanity steeled itself for the fight of its life. They were vastly outnumbered and outgunned, but they had something the Council didn't expect: unwavering determination, creative ingenuity, and the strength that comes from true unity. The war that would change everything was about to begin, and humanity was ready to show the galaxy what they were made of. The first battle. The tension in Earth's Defense Command Center was palpable as the Galactic Council's fleet entered the solar system. Holographic displays showed hundreds of sleek alien ships advancing towards Earth. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the center of it all, her eyes fixed on the main screen. "They're not slowing down." Admiral Helena Rodriguez's voice crackled through the comm. "Looks like diplomacy is off the table." Sarah nodded grimly. "All stations, battle positions. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill." Across the planet, and in orbit, humans and their alien allies rushed to their posts. The combined Earth Alliance fleet moved into formation, a mix of hastily upgraded human ships and the organic-looking vessels of the free races. As the Council fleet approached Mars, they transmitted a message. Ambassador Zaxlith's hologram appeared, his skin a deep, angry red. "This is your final warning," he said, his voice cold. "Surrender now, dismantle your defenses, and submit to Council authority. or face annihilation. President Hayes stepped forward, her face set in determination. We reject your ultimatum, Ambassador. Earth chooses freedom. Zaxlith's eyes flashed. Then you choose destruction. The transmission cut off. Moments later, the Council fleet opened fire. Beams of energy lanced out, heading straight for Earth's orbital defenses. Shields up, Sarah shouted. The planetary shield, a gift from their alien allies, flickered to life. The first volley of Council weapons splashed against it, lighting up the sky in a dazzling display. Shield holding at 92%. A technician reported. But we can't take too many hits like that. Sarah nodded. Admiral Rodriguez, you have a go. Show them what we can do. In space, the Earth Alliance fleet sprang into action. Human ingenuity combined with alien technology as ships performed maneuvers the Council had never seen before. Fighters darted between larger vessels, their pilots pushing the limits of their new hybrid crafts. The ESS Defiant, under Admiral Rodriguez's command, led the charge. It unleashed a barrage of missiles, each one equipped with a phase shift technology that allowed them to slip past the Council ship shields. Explosions blossomed in space as the missiles found their targets. Council ships, caught off guard by the unexpected attack, scrambled to regroup. But the Council fleet was vast, and they quickly regained their composure. They returned fire, their advanced weapons tearing through several Earth ships. We've lost the Intrepid and the Valiant, a comm officer reported, her voice shaking. Sarah felt each loss like a physical blow, but she knew they had to press on. Activate the luminary device, she ordered. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, monitoring the device from a secure lab, gave a thumbs up. Activating now, Captain. A pulse of invisible energy radiated out from Earth. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, chaos erupted in the Council fleet. Their ships are losing power, Naila reported, her feline eyes wide with excitement. The AI systems are shutting down. The luminary device had worked, disabling the advanced artificial intelligence that controlled much of the Council's technology. Their ships, suddenly reliant on manual control, began to drift and collide with each other. All ships pressed the advantage. Admiral Rodriguez commanded. The Earth Alliance fleet surged forward, targeting the now vulnerable Council ships. Humanity's weapons, while less advanced, proved devastatingly effective against the disabled vessels. But the battle was far from over. A group of Council ships, apparently shielded from the luminary device's effects, broke through the defensive line. They headed straight for Earth, weapons charged. Intercept those ships, Sarah ordered, her heart racing. A squadron of Earth fighters, led by Lieutenant Emma Puddle from the old U.S. Horizon crew, moved to engage. They weaved through the debris of battle, closing in on the Council vessels. We can't let them reach the planet. Emma's voice came through the comm. Whatever it takes, we stop them here. What followed was a display of piloting skills that would be remembered for generations. The Earth fighters, outnumbered and outgunned, used every trick and maneuver they knew. They darted between laser blasts, used the hulks of destroyed ships as cover, and worked in perfect coordination. One by one, the Council ships fell. But the cost was high. Half of the Earth squadron was lost in the fierce dogfight. As the last Council ship exploded, Emma's damaged fighter limped back towards Earth. Threat neutralized, she reported, her voice tired but proud. Cheers erupted in the command center, but Sarah knew the battle wasn't over yet. Status report, she called out. The news was mixed. Earth's shields were holding, but barely. The fleet had suffered heavy losses, but so had the Council. The space around Earth was littered with the debris of both side ships. Suddenly, Naila called out, Captain, we're detecting a massive energy buildup in the Council's flagship. I think they're preparing to use a planet-killer weapon. Sarah's blood ran cold. Such a weapon could potentially crack the planet in half. Can we stop it? Admiral Rodriguez's voice came through, grim but determined. We'll have to ram them. It's the only way to disrupt the weapon in time. Helena, no, Sarah protested. There has to be another way. It's been an honor, Sarah, the Admiral said. Take care of our people. Before anyone could stop her, the ESS Defiant accelerated towards the Council flagship. Council weapons fire peppered its hull, but it didn't slow down. Everyone in the command center watched in stunned silence as the Defiant collided with the flagship. A blinding explosion lit up space, and when it cleared, both ships were gone. The Council weapon had been stopped, but at a terrible cost. In the aftermath of the explosion, an eerie silence fell over the battlefield. Then, unexpectedly, a transmission came through from the remaining Council ships. "This is Commander Vex of the Galactic Council Fleet," a new voice said. We request a ceasefire. Our leadership is gone. We've lost our appetite for this war." Sarah, fighting back tears for her lost friend, straightened her back. "This is Captain Chen of Earth. We accept your ceasefire. Let's end this senseless destruction." As the Council ships began to retreat, a mixture of joy and sorrow swept through Earth's forces. They had won their first battle against overwhelming odds. But the cost had been high, and they all knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was changing, and humanity, having faced its trial by fire, was ready to help shape that change. The war wasn't over, but Earth had proven it wouldn't go down without a fight. Galactic warfare. In the months following Earth's victory in the first battle, the conflict with the Galactic Council spread across the stars. What had begun as a fight for Earth's independence had evolved into a full-scale galactic war. Humanity, once confined to a single planet, now found itself fighting on multiple fronts across vast distances of space. Captain Sarah Chen, now promoted to Admiral, stood on the bridge of the ESS Phoenix, Earth's new flagship named in honor of humanity's rebirth as a spacefaring civilization. The ship was currently in orbit around a distant planet called Novus Prime, a key strategic location in the ongoing war. "Status report," Sarah called out, her eyes scanning the holographic display of the surrounding space. Lieutenant Emma Patel, now her second in command, responded quickly. "Our forces have secured the planet's orbital defenses. Admiral, the Council's garrison has retreated to the surface." Sarah nodded, a grim smile on her face. "And our allies. The Free Race's fleet is maintaining a perimeter around the system," Emma reported. "They've successfully repelled 2 Council counterattacks in the last 24 hours. The war had brought unexpected changes to the galaxy. As news of Earth's defiance spread, more alien races began to question the Council's authority. Some joined the Free Races Alliance, while others declared neutrality. The monolithic power of the Galactic Council was crumbling. Suddenly, alarms blared across the bridge. "Incoming transmission," a communications officer announced. "It's from the surface of Novus Prime." A hologram flickered to life, showing a familiar face. It was Commander Vex, the Council officer who had called for a ceasefire in the first battle over Earth. His expression was one of resignation. "Admiral Chen," he said, his voice tired, "I wish to discuss terms of surrender. The people of Novus Prime no longer wish to fight for a council that abandons its own." Sarah's eyebrows raised in surprise. This was an unexpected development, but a welcome one. "We'll meet on neutral ground, Commander. I give you my word that you'll be treated fairly." As the transmission ended, excited murmurs broke out across the bridge. Another planet liberated, another blow to the Council's power. But Sarah knew the war was far from over. The Council, despite its losses, still controlled vast resources and territories, and not all humans were comfortable with the rapid changes. Back on Earth, debates raged about the cost of the war and humanity's place in the galaxy. In a secret facility on Mars, Dr. Yuki Tanaka worked tirelessly to unlock more secrets from the Luminary Cube. Each discovery brought new advancements, allowing humanity to close the technological gap with the Council. But it also raised questions about the responsibility that came with such power. Meanwhile, on the front lines, human ingenuity continued to surprise their allies and enemies alike. Earth's soldiers, combining their natural adaptability with alien technology, became known for their unpredictable tactics and fierce determination. One such soldier was Sergeant Maria Lopez, leading a squad on a covert mission deep in Council territory. Her team had been tasked with sabotaging a major Council supply depot. "Remember," Maria whispered to her squad, "a mix of humans and free races allies. We're not just fighting for Earth anymore. We're fighting for freedom across the galaxy." With silent nods, the team moved out. They used cloaking technology reverse-engineered from captured Council ships, slipping past patrols undetected. When they reached the depot, Maria marveled at how seamlessly her human and alien squadmates worked together. Species that had been strangers mere months ago now operated like a well-oiled machine. The mission was a success, dealing a significant blow to the Council's logistics in the sector. As news of the victory spread, more worlds began to rise up against Council rule. Back on the ESS Phoenix, Sarah received reports from across the galaxy. The war was changing, becoming as much about hearts and minds as it was about military victories. "We've received a message from the Galactic Core," Emma reported, her voice filled with excitement. "3 more systems have declared their independence from the Council. They're requesting to join our alliance." Sarah felt a mix of pride and concern. Earth and its allies were winning, but at what cost? The galaxy was being reshaped, and humanity was at the center of it all. In a bold move, Sarah decided it was time to take the fight directly to the Council. She called a meeting with the leaders of the Free Races Alliance, proposing a daring plan to strike at the heart of Council space. "It's risky," Nyla, the arboreal felinoid, cautioned. "But if it works, it could end the war." The plan was set in motion. A massive fleet, the largest assembly of ships from different species the galaxy had ever seen, prepared for the final push. At its head was the ESS Phoenix, carrying the hopes of countless worlds. As they approached the Council's home system, Sarah addressed the fleet. "We fight not just for our own freedom, but for the right of all sentient beings to choose their own path. Today, we change the galaxy forever." The battle that followed would be remembered for generations. Council defenses, formidable as they were, struggled against the combined might and diversity of the Alliance. Human fighters darted between capital ships, alien energy weapons lit up space, and boarding parties engaged in fierce hand-to-hand combat. In the chaos of the battle, Sarah led a team to the Council's central command station. They'd fought their way through corridors, facing the elite of the Council's forces. Finally, they'd reached the main chamber. There, they found not just the Council leaders, but representatives from dozens of races, many of whom looked relieved at the arrival of Sarah and her team. "The old order is over," Sarah declared, her voice firm but not unkind. "It's time for a new beginning, one where all races have a voice." As news of the Council leadership's capture spread, the fighting gradually ceased. The Galactic War, which had raged across countless star systems, came to an end not with a bang, but with a new hope for unity. In the days that followed, delegates from across the galaxy gathered to discuss the future. Humanity, once considered a primitive species, now sat at the center of galactic politics. They had proven themselves not just capable warriors, but also bridge builders, able to unite diverse species towards a common goal. As Sarah looked out at the stars from the observation deck of the Phoenix, she realized that humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. The galaxy was vast, full of wonders and challenges. And now, it was home. A new galactic order. 5 years had passed since the fall of the old Galactic Council. The galaxy was a very different place now, and at the heart of this transformation was a planet that had, until recently, been unknown to most of the universe, Earth. Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the window of her office in the newly constructed Galactic Unity Tower on Earth. The massive structure, a blend of architectural styles from 100 different worlds, served as the headquarters for the new Galactic Alliance. Sarah's eyes swept over the bustling cityscape below. Hover cars zipped between buildings, their designs a mix of human ingenuity and alien technology. In the streets, humans walked alongside beings from across the galaxy, the sight of different species living and working together now commonplace. A gentle chime interrupted her contemplation. "Admiral," her eye assistant said, "the Alliance Council meeting is about to begin." Sarah nodded, straightening her uniform. "Thank you, Araya. I'm on my way." As she walked through the corridors of the tower, Sarah reflected on the journey that had brought them here. The war had been costly, but out of that conflict, a new order had emerged, one built on cooperation and mutual respect rather than domination. She entered the Grand Council chamber, a circular room with seats for representatives from every member world of the Alliance. Some attended in person, others as highly detailed holograms. The diversity was staggering. From the tree-like arboreal felinoids to the crystalline luminarians, a race they had discovered was not extinct after all. "This meeting of the Galactic Alliance Council is now in session," announced President Elena Rodriguez, who had once been Admiral Helena Rodriguez before turning to politics. "Our first order of business is the application of the Zaxlithian Empire to join our alliance." A murmur ran through the chamber. The Zaxlithians, named after their former ambassador to Earth, had been the dominant species in the old council. Their application to join the very alliance they once opposed was a significant moment. The Zaxlithian representative, looking humbler than Sarah had ever seen one of their species, stood to address the council. "We come before you not as conquerors, but as equals. We have learned much from our defeat, and more from watching the success of your alliance. We ask for the opportunity to contribute to this new galactic order." The debate that followed was intense but respectful. Sarah marveled at how far they had come. Just a few years ago, such a diverse group would have struggled to even communicate, let alone work together towards common goals. As the discussion continued, Sarah's mind wandered to some of the other changes that had reshaped the galaxy. The luminary cube, which had played such a crucial role in Earth's initial victory, had become a source of shared knowledge for all Alliance members. Dr. Yuki Tanaka now led a multi-species team of scientists, unlocking the secrets of the ancient race and using that knowledge to benefit all. Earth itself had become a center of galactic culture and innovation. The planet's universities were filled with students from hundreds of different worlds, all eager to learn the unique human perspective that had changed the course of galactic history. Human adaptability and creativity, combined with the advanced technologies of their alien allies, had led to breakthroughs in fields ranging from medicine to space travel. The first intergalactic exploration vessels were already under construction, preparing to push beyond the boundaries of the known galaxy. But it wasn't just in grand endeavors that the new order showed its strength. Sarah thought of her old friend, Lieutenant Emma Patul, who had retired from military service to open a restaurant that served cuisine from across the galaxy. It had become a popular spot for beings of all species to gather, share stories, and build friendships. The sound of President Rodriguez's voice brought Sarah back to the present. "We will now vote on the Zaxlithian application," she announced. One by one, the representatives cast their votes. Sarah watched a holographic display as the tally grew. It was close, but in the end, the result was clear. The Zaxlithians were accepted into the alliance. As the chamber erupted in a mix of cheers and respectful applause, Sarah felt a sense of pride. This was what they had fought for, not just victory, but the chance to build something better. After the meeting, Sarah made her way to the tower's observation deck. She found Nyella there, her old friend from the arboreal felinoids, gazing out at the stars. "Quite a view, isn't it?" Sarah said, joining her. Nyella nodded, her feline eyes reflecting the starlight. "I never imagined I'd see the galaxy like this. United, peaceful, full of potential." "We've come a long way," Sarah agreed. "But we've still got so much to explore, so much to learn." As if on cue, an alert sounded from Sarah's communicator. It was a message from the Deep Space Monitoring Station. "Admiral," the excited voice said, We've detected an anomaly at the edge of the galaxy. It looks like it might be a wormhole. Stable, leading somewhere we've never seen before. Sarah and Nyella looked at each other, excitement building in both their eyes. Well, Sarah said with a grin, looks like our next adventure is calling. As they hurried to inform the council of this new discovery, Sarah felt a thrill run through her. The galaxy had changed, and humanity had been at the heart of that change. They had fought for their place among the stars, and in doing so, they had helped forge a new galactic order, one of unity, discovery, and endless possibilities. The war that changed everything was over. But humanity's greatest journey was just beginning. As Earth's ships prepared to venture into the unknown, Sarah knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, not just as humans, but as part of a united galaxy. The stars had once seemed distant and unreachable. Now, they were home. And beyond them lay a universe of wonders waiting to be explored.